I'm going to be doing some baking with you today. I'm using the Hungry Student Easy Baking Book, which is my most favourite baking book, recipe book. It's by Charlotte Pike and I've got 3 in the set. There's this one, there's a cooking one which I think my daughter's got at the moment, and a vegetarian one. But yeah, highly recommended, and it's got hundreds of really easy recipes in. Today I'm going to be making what she calls peanut blondies, this recipe here, and they're actually a white chocolate version of chocolate brownies. So it says it makes 12 slices, and just being ever professional, I've already weighed stuff out here, here, and I've never done anything like this on camera before. I have no idea how it's going to go. So yeah, should we just get on with it or something? I don't know. Let's see how this works.
Okay, so we're over at the mixing bowl, and I'm just going to read through the recipe as I'm making it. I know you can only see my hands, but this is where the magic happens, you know. I've got Charlotte's recipe here up above me, and it says peanut blondies, makes 12 slices. Blondies are basically white chocolate brownies, and these are made with a combination of sweet chocolate and salted peanut butter. They're incredibly delicious and dangerously addictive, so we'll see how we go. So first of all, we need to preheat the oven to 180. Grease a 20cm square cake tin and line with non-stick baking paper. So I'll just put my bowl to one side and I'll go and get those. So I'm just using butter to grease the tin with. I've switched the oven on to 180, and I've pre-cut a circle of non-stick greaseproof paper, so that butter should just make that stick. Now Charlotte suggests using a 20cm square cake tin, but I haven't got one of those, so we are going to make do with a 20cm circular tin, and I'll just cut it into triangles, cut the cookies into triangles when I'm finished. Just see how it goes anyway. So there we go, one lined baking tin. We'll just set that to one side because we won't be needing that until we've done everything. Then it says melt the chocolate. You can do this in a non-metallic bowl in the microwave, check it every 20 seconds. Or you can do it with the traditional method over a saucepan of simmering water in a glass bowl. I'm going to just chip off and do it in the microwave, and I'll be back in a few seconds. And as if by magic, we have our white melted chocolate. That took about 30 seconds in the microwave, maybe a bit less. But anyway, so we have got our melted chocolate. So when the chocolate is melted, set aside and let it cool, which we will put. And in a mixing bowl, you need to beat together the butter and both types of sugar. So we've got 60 grams of butter, 100 grams of caster sugar and 150 grams of light brown sugar. So we will put those in the bowl together. So we've got our butter, 60 grams of butter. Then we have 100 grams of caster sugar. And 150 grams of light brown sugar. And I like, when I'm beating and baking, I like to use this red silicone spatula that I've got. I find that it absolutely works wonders when it mixes, it bakes, it does everything. I can make that. And sometimes, you know, I quite like using this one. This is how I blend my butter and my sugar together when I'm baking. So this is like a pushing motion. So you're pushing the sugar into the butter and scrape it round and just make sure everything is blended properly. So as you can see there now, the butter and both types of sugar are now beaten together and blended to quite a, oops, we'll pretend that didn't happen, into quite a smooth paste. And it says combine the beaten eggs, so you should have 2 eggs and vanilla extract, so it's a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I've already beaten these in a little mixing bowl with a fork, and I put the vanilla extract in there as well, and beat vigorously until well mixed. So what it's asking me to do now is pour this into the melted, oh hang on, combine the beaten eggs and vanilla extract and add to the mixture, so we will not do the chocolate yet, add to the mixture, see I told you I'd never done this before, along with the peanut butter. So this peanut butter is, I'm using crunchy peanut butter, but it says smooth is fine as well, and it's 150 grams of peanut butter. So I'll just drop that into there. And it says beating vigorously until well mixed. So we'll just use the same mixing method again as before. And we'll make sure it's all well mixed. Okay, so we've got a fairly smooth paste there. The little lumps that you can see are actually the crunchy peanut butter, so that'll be the actual peanuts in there. So the next part of the recipe, pour in the cooled melted chocolate and stir to combine well. So we'll take our white melted chocolate, pour that in. And stir that in as well. There we go. And then sift in the flour, baking powder and salt. So we've got 80 grams of plain flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and a pinch of salt. So I'll just put that over the top of there. And I've already got flour, baking powder and salt in this little bowl here. So I'll just put that through the sieve. And then we just fold that in. Me sounding professional, like I'm pretending I know all about this. It's ace, isn't it? So there we go. As you can see, just after a few folds, we've got a fairly decent consistency. I'm just going to scrape around the edges to make sure that I've got everything combined. There we go. So that's everything combined. Next part is pour the mixture into the tin and bake for 25 to 35 minutes. Be careful not to overcook or the blondies will be dry. So go back to the pre-prepared baking tin and we'll just tip this straight in. Smooth that off, and then my top tip, this isn't in Charlotte's book, my top tip whenever I'm doing cake or biscuit mixture is to just bang it on the side like that, and it sort of helps it settle in a little bit, especially if you've got the grease-proof paper in and everything. Fill all the gaps and everything. So there you go, I'm going to put this in the oven for 25 to 35 minutes and then we'll take it out and we'll have a look at it. Okay, I have a feeling that something went a bit wrong because this looks a tad burnt. However, my oven isn't brilliant at the moment. It is burning stuff quite regularly, and we'll have to see how it affects the taste. It really needs to cool down. Charlotte's recipe recommends that you allow it to cool fully in the tin before cutting into slices, or in my case it'll be into triangles. So we'll let it cool, we'll come back to it, and then I'll... Okay, so we're back again. It's completely cool, still burnt, but as you can see, it's really easy to take out with the greaseproof paper, and we'll just peel that off. It's actually perfect underneath. I don't know if you can see that properly. Losing the daylight here a little bit. I'm going to cut this with a pizza cutter because I think it'll be easier than trying to get a knife through it. And we're going to... Did I say we're going to do it into 12? So that's 6. I think I might try a knife actually. Ooh, it's all gooey inside. This is a bit of a disaster, I'm afraid. Yeah. So now I'll just go and find a teenager for the taste test.